Okay, hello guys, welcome to my stream again, and today's discussion will be a little bit earlier than I expected because I've just installed Explain 12. I'm not happy with the graphics. It's pretty ugly so far. The colors are not in my liking, but this is everything about the setup. But anyway, why I choose today Explain, because today topic will be altimeter temperature correction error. Because the Explain 12 now are released with few features which I, as a real captain, really like, and one of the feature is runway friction coefficient. You have for different type of the runway contaminates. That's quite perfect, and it contains altimeter temperature correction. So now we will talk a little bit more about what is it, but I will put it into you in the way very easy, okay, and very simple. What is altitude temperature correction, okay? Or let's say, what is the error? All of the altimeters which are basically installed in the airplane contains or let's say are calibrating into the international standard atmosphere condition. That means that they are calibrating to 50 degrees of centigrade above the main sea level, okay? And if you have, for example, outside the temperature minus 20 degrees of centigrade, that means that as far you are from the source, so let's say the airport and current altimeter setting, as we have now QNH 1013 just for the demonstration, that means the lower altitude, or let's say the difference between true altitude and altitude which you are reading on altimeter are bigger, okay? So if you look at the picture I am currently showing to you, there's on the picture clearly stated and depicted right over the picture that, as you can see, if there is minus 20 degrees of centigrade, your approach will be very shallow, okay? It's because this temperature error. And if you have, for example, 40 degrees of centigrade, so that means that you are flying high above the profile. Why I am mentioning this situation? Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't simulate any of these conditions, which is very pity, because it has perfect graphic, okay? But for those of you who would like to become a professional pilots, please be aware of this situation, that you must learn the things, because when the temperature on the airport drops below 0 degrees of centigrade, it means that you have to apply altitude corrections within next table, and this table you find in flight crew operational manual, volume 1, and this is the temperature correction, and as you can see it started from 0. So that means that if you do not modify the database in your FMC, it means that you will make a very shallow approach, okay, within minus 20 degrees of centigrade. If you have plus 40 degrees of centigrade, basically nothing happens because you are out of the obstacles, you are clear, good to go. So that's why we are always using the temperature correction. So in our case, let's see the Prague airport and approach runway 24. How we calculate how we can modify the database. Okay, so I will leave it like it is, but I will tell you how to modify it. It's always height above the threshold. That means that Prague airport elevation is 1200 feet approximately, and the altitude, how we can know that we are good on profile. It's perfectly ILS final approach point. It's point. So at this point, it's particularly we have to have 4,000 feet of elevation with DME 9. Okay, and if we do not apply the temperature correction, which is de facto height, so that means 2,800. And as you can see on the table, we should add approximately 400 feet in order to catch the glide slope within the final approach point exactly at the altitude. So that's the first situation. All air traffic controllers are fully aware of this fact and of this kind of situation, and so that means that if you are controlling by radar vectors, the air traffic controller should be aware of this fact and should have the tables with conversion, and with this conversion he should put the altitudes for you. Okay, so this is the basic reason why, as we are in radar vectors, we do not apply temperature correction. But imagine you are in procedural control. That means you control yourself. So you add the temperature correction error, that means height above the threshold, with certain point. For example, we add temperature correction to initial approach fix, intermediate fix, final approach point or fix, and to our decision altitude or minimum descent altitude. Okay, so for the time being I will leave it like this now, and I will show you how it looks like when we approach into this point. Okay, so again, if you look at the chart, how you can know that your flight simulator contains this temperature correction error? It's very simple. You put the ILS and on the final approach point, because it's physically glide slope and localizer antenna meets, and at certain altitude it's defined the final approach point. And if the final approach point for our example, it's now 9 nautical miles, it's 9 nautical miles, so we should have 4,000 feet. Okay, if we don't have the 4,000 feet, if we have the 4,000 feet and we have manually set up on the airport, let's say minus 20 degrees of centigrade, like I have now, so it means, and your altitude is exactly 4,000 feet, so it means that there is maybe your flight simulator doesn't simulate these conditions. Okay, but if you are on the final approach point and you are not capturing the glide slope and you are below, that means that when you manually put into the airport minus 20 degrees of centigrade, your flight simulator with the highest probability simulate the altitude temperature error. So basically that's it. Now I have currently in Prague put manually minus 20 degrees of centigrade, and yeah, we'll see what how it looks like. Okay, so let's say like this one. Okay, and I will maybe just press pause and just make ensure the configuration that we have minus 18. Okay, so let's say minus 20 degrees of centigrade. Okay, that's okay, that's quite fine. So we apply the changes and we can continue. We are ensured that we have minus 20 degrees of centigrade at Prague airport. This is basically very important when you are flying to the polar region countries when the temperature is more or less cold, and this applies as well for the countries when have the especially cold temperature and high obstacles or high terrain. Okay, so yeah, basically that's it, what I would like to tell to you. We will see. We are currently approaching the final approach point. I will put the vertical speed and go a little bit down, but it's not going. But anyway, this difference is showing us that from minus 11 sorry, minus I was depicted over there, minus 18 degrees of centigrade. Okay, so and I will change this into minus 20. So this is a good sign that your flight simulator are showing the temperature correction error. So, and then we will make another approach, and we will apply at this time the temperature correction. Okay, so I will reposition. I will stop the video again, just for your comfort, not to see all the video, and in order just to let you know how it works. Okay, so this first fix is, I guess so, it's not depicted right over there, or let's say it's depicted. It's not depicted over there. It should be intermediate fix. Okay. What is the initial approach fix, intermediate fix, and final approach fix? There is for a long and very long-term discussion. Why? Okay. And maybe you will be surprised when you put the correct altitude, your glide path will be recalculated into steeper descent, but your actual descent will be still 3 degrees, but the FMC will show you 3.5 or 3.8 degrees. Okay, go down. So this is our final approach point, so we can easily put it on the fixed page in order to have the situational awareness better. Okay, and we will approach into this point, and now we will see and then I will stop the flight simulator and I will show you right depicted on the chart how it looks like. Okay, so now as you can see, the airport, it's from my point of view, this is the airport, and it looks to be a very shallow approach. Okay, and why? Because we do not apply into our final approach fix the altimeter temperature correction. That's why I will be very happy if somebody makes something with the graphics of the X-Plane 12, because this is terrible. This is really terrible. Okay, the clouds are mainly okay, but anti-aliasing, it's wow. Okay, so we are approaching our final approach point, as you can see, the glide slope is alive. That's pretty good sign, but imagine how far we are from the final approach fix. Okay, so now we are basically over the final approach fix. I can make a stop it right now because we have already passed it. Okay, and now you can see what is our glide slope. Okay, and as you can see on the chart, we are exactly on the final approach fix, or let's say like this one. Okay, you can see we are on the final approach fix. We are, as you can see from below, we are 9 nautical miles. Okay, so I will make a picture for you. And regarding to the profile, which is depicted over here, we are currently below. Okay, so that's another point. And now we are performing another approach. Okay, and now we apply standard ISA deviation. What does it mean? ISA deviation, it's basically it's a rule of thumb that if I don't care about adiabatic lap rate and environmental lapse rate, basically within 1000 feet you lose 2000 degrees of centigrade. So at Prague airport we should have 14 degrees of centigrade, and now in this case you will see, or let's say, first of all, we apply the temperature correction. So from the table, from the flight crew operational manual, as we have, so we was talking about 4000 feet minus Prague airport elevation, which is 1200. Okay, so it means 2000 and minus 20 degrees of centigrade, and we are approximately within an interpolation 300 feet. So we have to apply the altitude correction of 300 feet. So what we can do right now, I will press flight simulator, press altitude hold. It should work. Okay, right now. Okay, we have control wheel steering, airing select, altitude hold, and that's quite okay. We turn ourselves, okay, and climb back to 5000 feet, for example, or let's say 6000. Okay, we'll make it with the 6000 feet. So we'll climb to 6000 feet. We need to put it here because otherwise we have off-schedule descent. I will leave the airplane with flaps 5 configuration. It will climb, so don't worry about this non-standard situation. It's pretty okay. There's nothing special or let's say nothing wrong. Okay, and then we will adjust the situation according to the QRH. Okay. And we will fly a little bit more to the downwind position. Let's say as I said before, it's the basic explanation what is the altimeter temperature error and why is it so important. So if you don't have the air traffic controller, like for example we are now currently in Prague, yes, you have always air traffic control because it's big airport, but anyway, if you are coming for example to Svalbard airport, which is on the polars, above the polar circle, and you have just info, okay, Svalbard info, You have to manually apply these corrections, and as I said before, it's applying to initial approach fix, intermediate fix, and final approach point, final approach fix, and decision altitude and minimum descent altitude. Okay, so as far as you are from the source, altimeter source, that means from the airport, the temperature correction will be bigger. If you are flying, if you are exactly on the airport, don't worry, your altimeter will be showing you the exact and correct temperature. Okay, so now we can reselect ILS to 4, okay, and just leave it like now, but we need to press it twice. So ILS to 4, and now execute, and yeah, we have a little bit of problem. We will solve it very quickly, don't worry. So once again, ILS back, there is basically nothing over there, and we should make it once again. Okay, and now we have center fix, and we put the center fix here, and we put extended center line with inbound course 241. Okay, because this is the course of the runway 241. Okay, so now we have to modify the database. Okay, so we put this 300 feet right over there, so 4,300. Okay, but it's the rough computation. As you can see, I need to interpolate, and we need to put it as well here, but I will leave this like this. And as you can see, we have 4,300, and okay, I put here 4,000 and or above. Okay, because it computes, it's from computation. Okay, so anyway, so we may just make our right turn into the baseline. We can descend to 4,300. Okay, because this is our corrected altitude, and now we can go easily down. Okay, and as well the flap settings are there. Okay, so once again, I will cross fingers to explain 12, and I hope they will do something with the graphics, because it's pretty ugly. But maybe it's just my graphic card, I don't know, but maybe it is something wrong. But I see that anti-aliasing, it's not working for me, as I have it not in full position. Okay, so it makes circles and really bad shapes. Okay, so now we are turning to ILS, and yeah, we can catch the localizer. We have overshoot the localizer, but this is not our purpose. Okay, we have off schedule descent, so it's old Zibo bug, but without any further problems. So we can put heading 241, and we are not putting the approach mode right now. Okay, so just for you, okay, just for better view to this position, we will see how he will correct himself, or he is going to turn the circle orbit to right. No, he's not going to make a orbit to right. So as well, we have to adjust the minimums. Okay, so if we have at Prague airport minimums 1,358, so that means that it's basically roughly 200, and with minus 20 it's 30. With interpolation we should add the correction of 15, so that means that 1378, okay, approximately 1380, for example, okay. I use just a rough computation. And now we are approaching to the altitude which was depicted on the chart with altitude temperature correction, and yeah, we will not be always on the exact height which we would like to be, because we have always need to interpolate. So that's the problem, but not big deal, okay. So I will check it once again. If we put OK number, because I don't think so. Yeah, approximately 300 feet, 300 and... Oh, sorry, it's my mistake. We have to adjust ourselves with 100 feet. I make a wrong computation, but anyway, it's okay. Right now we have approximately 4000 feet, and as you can see right now, so what happens if we apply altimeter correction. I will pause the simulator and I will show it to you right now. A print screen. Okay, now you can see we are over the final approach point. So in this case, like this one, you can see we are over at final approach point. We are exactly on DME 9, as you can see. Okay, and we are capturing the glide slope with 4400 feet, which is absolutely perfect, and I am clapping hands to explain 12. It's really amazing and perfect, and now we can perform the approach, and now you can see that closer to the airports we are, the lower the altimeter temperature error will be. So that means that if we touch down on the runway 24, okay, so that means that if you look at Avitab and basically we can put it, which chart it was, this chart, and here you can find the airport runway 24, okay, and high intensity approach glide system glide slope 4000. No, it was not this chart, it was the previous chart. Sorry, it was this chart, and if you look at the chart, airport elevation, it's 1160. Okay, so we should have 1160. So now we can decelerate. Obviously in Prague it means 160 up to 4 DME, so we are light, we are okay. So we are going down, okay. We can put flaps, what is the 145 is approach speed, so flaps 30 directly, and 145 it's okay basically. So as we are approaching, okay, so we can put it like this one. I have flight it manually. I don't like this automatic landing, and as you can see, we need to do something with the X-plane because I have low settings and the FPS are quite low. Okay, so close the thrust levers and
40, 30, 20, 10.
okay, and as we touch down, I will quickly stop the airplane, okay, with maximum braking effort. Speed brake is up, and as you can see, you blew one or more tires. Okay, understood the situation, but anyway,
80 knots.
it's not purpose of this video to blow the tire, but okay, so as you can see, right now I will stop the airplane, put the parking brake on, and as you can see, we have 1160. Okay, so that's mean that we are correct, and we did the procedure exactly and correctly. So just just for recapitulation, okay? Just for recapitulation, so all of the airplanes has the altimeter. Altimeter is calibrating within ISA conditions, that means International Standard Atmosphere, which is 15 degrees of centigrade above the main sea level. Okay, and environmental lapse rate means, adiabatic lapse rate means that roughly, but again roughly, each 1000 feet you lose 2 degrees of centigrade. That means that in Prague we should have in ideal conditions 13 degrees of centigrade. Okay, but if we have minus 20, as you can see right now, the altimeter are showing okay, but as far as you from the altimeter source with this minus 20 degrees of centigrade within outside that temperature, it means that your altitude, your true altitude, should be will be lower than your altitude, which is which you are reading on the altimeter. Okay, and the same procedure apply if you have, for example, 40 degrees of centigrade, so you will fly higher above. And when we are applying the corrections, it's in flight crew operation volume 1, and basically when the temperature drops below 0, then we apply the altitude corrections, and we are applying into the initial approach fix, intermediate fix, final approach point on a fix, or decision altitude or minimum descent altitude. We do not have to apply these corrections when we are radar vectors. Okay, so that's basically the recapitulation, and as you can see in Explain 12 it works, but the graphics, it's for me pretty ugly, and I have to adjust some few things because yeah, well, I don't like it so far. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time soon. Bye.